Hello, thanks for stopping by the Sister Cousins Lifestyle channel. My name is Sandy, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about decorating with color and with prints. Now, colors and prints are something that I typically do not gravitate to. I'm more of a neutral girl. I like my neutral palette. That's what I find very calming and very peaceful. But I'm looking for a slight change in my aesthetic in my home just for the spring season, and we'll see what happens from there. So I started to look at different colors that I might want to bring in just for some pops of color. I am not going to go overboard with any color because that's not my zhuzh, but I did want to play around with something. So I started to look around and I started to kind of look into what colors I might like. And one thing I found out about myself that I did not know is that colors bring out different emotions. And so that helped me to understand why I don't like color or don't tend to gravitate to that, because typically I don't find it relaxing. However, if it's done correctly, as I've been learning, is that it can be calming. And so that would be something that I would be looking to do in my home. So long story short, if you'd like to see how I introduce a little bit of color, or how you might want to introduce some color in your home if that's not typically your aesthetic, keep watching. So typically, late fall, just before the holiday season starts, I typically will switch out to my hunter green drapes. I've done that for the last couple years. That's been sort of like my pop of color. But to me, it's really sort of like a neutral. It's really, really dark in color, almost like my black, which is a neutral. So I don't really consider that. But anyway and anyhow, we're going to figure something else out for the spring, because the darker green will go now as we enter into the spring season. So what I did was I did a little bit of studying to see what it is that I wanted to go to. Went to a couple of my favorite stores. Pottery Barn is one. Pottery Barn does a really good job with mixing like prints and everything. Very, very interestingly, things that I wouldn't think about. So I like to go and just kind of peruse the store and get a little bit of inspiration. Pottery Barn and Crate&Barrel have some amazing quality pillow covers, very, very heavy duty. Very, very nicely done. But anyway, I was just kind of looking around, trying to get some ideas. And on this particular day, I was taking a class, and I was able to talk to the instructor, who is a professional interior decorator, about my design dilemma, if you will. And, you know, just give me some options of how I might want to introduce color and how I might want to kind of mix those colors together. I went in completely open-minded. He showed me a couple of options and asked me which one spoke to me. And the one that spoke to me was with a variation of that like olive green color. I just found that to be so pretty. So here he is kind of arranging some pillows on the sofa, giving me some options. He's brought in a throw on top of the sofa just to kind of emulate the color of my sofa. And he's kind of showing me some different options, and I'm looking at them to see what I think. I am not sponsored by Pottery Barn, but I should be, because I talk about them a lot. I take design classes there. They are wonderful. They give you so many ideas in helping with your inspiration. For me, when my battery is depleted and I just can't think of what it is that I want to do, that inspiration of walking through the store is just what I need to get me inspired to come up with something, typically on my own. So I'm back at home, and I knew that the dark color curtains were going to be coming down. There's something, like I said, that I use during the fall and winter, during the Christmas season and winter season, but we're getting ready to go into spring. So of course I got to do a little bit of spring cleaning. Like I said before, I always get derailed. All I was going to do was change out the curtain panels, but you can't do that if your window sills and your baseboards are dirty. So why not just go ahead and hit them now with a little bit of a cleaning solution? I have some alcohol, rubbing alcohol, Dawn dish soap, and a little bit of vinegar. I love this stuff. It is such an amazing cleaner. And then I have this power brush here, and this is what I'm using to clean my baseboards and my window sills. Now, the truth of the matter is my house needs to be painted in the worst way. But, you know, until that happens, I'm going to have to keep trying to clean it and make it look as nice as possible. But I really, really, really need to be getting someone in here to get this house painted. This power scrubber is amazing. If you're interested in it, I'll link it below. It's off of Amazon, but it works really well. So here I've done my little spring cleaning in those areas, and I've hung these curtains. I've just kind of lightened it up a little bit. These window panels are also off of Amazon. They're by Nicetown, and they're in the color birch. So now that we have the darker curtains removed, we're going to go ahead and remove the dark pillow covers because it's time to retire them for the season. They're really dark, but I really love them because they were the dark green. So we're talking about decorating with color. So certainly this is a color that you could do into spring, or you can lighten it up with your green with the olive green, which is a color that caught my eye when I was over at Pottery Barn. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But any hoodles, we're gonna go ahead and take these darker ones off because I like to go a little bit lighter in certain places for the spring and the summer. I like downfield pillow inserts, but they do make a mess, but they do make for the nice little forming of your pillows or shaping your pillows, if you will. So I do like them for that reason, but there's always a cleanup involved once you take them out, because look at that, feathers coming out. There's no way to avoid it. And since we're taking away the winter elements and kind of easing into spring, we're going to go ahead and remove this greenery here. I've had this here since Christmas, and I used it through the through winter, or halfway through winter, I guess, because we're still in winter. But you know me, I'm ready for spring, so we get ready to switch it up. I never cut my stems, or I try not to cut them because I may use them in a taller vase at another time. So I kind of fold them over, but it makes for a very difficult when you're removing them because, as you can see here, I've got a little bit of a mess when I'm tangling up, but we'll get that apart here. Oh my God, and I not break my vase or table. So let me use two hands here. When I'm decorating, I get so excited that I don't really think about the takedown or removal of items. So this is a good example of that. I have these things in here so mixed up and tangled up, and it's a mess. I need to take my time so that I don't ruin things. But anywho, that's what happens. Is anybody else like that? I'm just an impatient person. I'm like that in a lot of ways in my life, but I need to work on that. But anyway, we're going to get these out. We're not going to damage anything. Thank you, Lord. And move on to the decorating. Another thing I need to find out is how to properly clean my table. Since I purchased them, I never researched how to keep them clean. I've just been using a warm, damp towel and just drying them off, and that seems to be working. Now, since we are removing the greenery that I had in for winter and I'm easing into spring, we're going to go ahead and take away these pine cones right now and kind of clear off this fireplace credenza and restyle that as well. If you're like me and you really prefer a more neutral palette, but you do want to play around with colors or prints, your coffee table, your shelves, your credenzas are all perfect places to explore those options and play around with color or print or whatever it is. That's kind of like what my dilemma is today. So yeah, the old me would just pick a color and just kind of go with it. But I really want to be more thoughtful with this. And so, that's why I'm taking my time to decide what I want to do. Now, remember when we were in Pottery Barn and I had the designer kind of helping me with some options based on my color palette? He was swapping out pillows and showing me different options. Nothing was really working until this one was shown. That olive green, it spoke to me and it caught my eye. None of the others really did, but I could see how that one pillow could be implemented in my home with the pillows that I already had. So not a major investment, just one new pillow cover. So I brought it home and I gave it a try on my sofa with my existing pillows. I didn't want anything solid. I wanted a print. I love that this has the embroidered florals in here and that taupe muted color that I love so much. And it's introducing a olive green, which is a color or a pop of color, but not a bright color because I don't like bright colors. It blends in pretty well with my existing pillows. This one, I'm still trying to figure that out. But I am definitely loving it with this pillow here in the back as well as with the sofa. Until I didn't. So just as fast as I unwrapped that pillow and set it on my sofa and kind of looked at it for a little while, it was not long before I realized it just wasn't going to work. As well as it blended in with my existing colors, it really wasn't giving me that, it wasn't taking me out of that comfort zone that I've been in. And it also didn't flow, because one of the things that it has to do in order for it to be a forever piece for me is it definitely has to fit in nicely, not only where it is, but with the whole space in general. So I packaged it back up very nicely and I took it back to the store. But that's not how the story ends. You know, I was on the hunt for the perfect pillow. And one of the reasons why the other one didn't work is, you know, I said it didn't flow, and it must flow because I have an open floor plan. And so I don't want everything matchy, but I also don't want anything competing. So that pillow with the florals did not work. However, I went to my trusted Amazon and I found this pillow. This pillow spoke to me. This is a beautiful pillow. It's a pretty heavy duty fabric. It is antelope print, which I thought was interesting. I just have a thing for animal print in any shape, form, or fashion, so it was no surprise that it caught my eye. And I love the way that it does not compete with my artwork. And even though it's in a separate space, it's an adjoining space. And so it was important to me to have something that, you know, kind of blended in. And you see these little white splatters in here. I felt like this just kind of emulated that, and it worked nicely. And most importantly, I love it. I have been working really hard at focusing on the things that I like and just kind of bringing them in and enjoying them. So it was important to me to find something that it just resonated with me. I just love that pillow. Let me tell you something about that art. I don't think I told you guys that. So, you know, I was looking for art for months and months and months and months. Finally found the pieces of art that I love that I put over my coffee station. I shared those a couple videos ago. They are original pieces of art. I mentioned that as well. So I did some research on the artist, and I actually wrote to him because I have nothing better to do, and I do crazy stuff like that when I get bored. So I wrote to him, and that art means so much more to me now just because he responded back. And it's not like we're BFFs or anything like that, but he was very, very gracious that I wrote to him that I was enjoying his art. And so I will forever remember that when I look at that art. So, you know, when I said at the beginning of the year that I'm all about creating memories and stories for my home, I now have a new story for my artwork that I've actually made a connection with the person that drew or did this art that I have in my home. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, let me let you see how the pillows turned out. I really like the way that they look. I'm gonna play a little bit more with some prints along the way, but this was a good introduction to it for me. So let me let you take a look. Okay, so I've got my little antelope pillow there just kind of peeking out behind my lumbar. And then on this side, I just have a trio of pillows. That's one of the design tricks that I learned through my classes, that you have an odd amount of pillows on one side and an even amount on the other side. I also learned that you have one large pillow. So like a 20, I think that's a 24 by 24, and then my 20 by 20s, and then my lumbar. So kind of variation in sizes in your pillows gives you more of that design look. So this is the way the pillows are looking. Absolutely love them. Definitely will be looking for another print to kind of play off of the antelope pillow that I have there, but it's something that is going to come over time. I will take my time and decide what it is that I want in order to create the look that I want. Another way to bring color into your home is with florals. And you can do that with either live florals, which you can pick up at your local grocery store, or florists, wherever they sell them in your area. But you can find some really nice ones. And this is a good way to kind of change out your color or your pops of color often, because we know those live florals are not going to live forever. Or you can go in with some faux florals or greenery, whatever the case may be, whatever makes you happy, whatever you like. Now, I don't know what these are. It's some type of greenery. I've had them for several years now. I believe I got them from Target, but I really don't remember because I've had them for a while, but I love them. And that is a great way to introduce color. Now, this is kind of like a mustardy color. It doesn't really match with anything, but if you're looking for a pop of color, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to match. So if you like it, you can go with it. Or you can go with, you know, more of a flowers, since we are heading towards the springtime. You can bring in flowers, and I probably will, as we get closer to spring, probably bring in my magnolias or something else that I really enjoy. But yeah, for right now, I think I'm going to transition into using these on my table. This is how they're looking. They're just kind of wild, and I just love that look of them. But yeah, that's kind of the way that it's looking there with my color selection there. And I'm okay with it. Now, there was a time where this would have drove me crazy, but I am in the season of doing what I like and what I enjoy. And so these are some of my favorite greenery or stems or whatever you want to call them. And so, hey, they're out here. Another way to add color to your home is by use of bowls and vases and things like that. And I said earlier, I'm not going to be adding a lot of things to my home this year unless they are elevating my home in some way or bringing about some type of an impact. And so I'm just shopping my home, moving things from one space to the next. Now, this bowl here I already had. It's black on the outside, and it has a little bit of blue and gray on the outside, which are not my color scheme. So I'm just going to go ahead with some vase filler here, and I'm filling it with some moss that I have, but you can use any type of vase filler that you want in any color that you want for your pop of color. That's a perfect way to add a pop of color to a room. But I'm going in with some simple moss that I already had on hand, just kind of repurposing this, and I'm going to put that there on my console. And then I have my candle here. Now, this is something I definitely will continue to invest in because I love a good candle. This particular one is by Studio McGee. It is blackberry and eucalyptus with notes of geranium, balsam, and currant. And when I saw that makeup of this candle, I knew I had to bring it home, and it did not disappoint. It is really, really nice. I love it. So my table is simply done. I have my candle, my coffee table books. I have my match cloche here and my greenery there. And I really, really like the simplicity of the way that it looks. I've said before, I am all about trying to elevate my space this year. So I'm not adding anything unless it does just that. But elevate to me means moving to another level. So not doing the same things I've always done. So you'll see me play around with a few things here and there this year that I haven't done before, like color and prints and different designs, styles throughout my space. I am enjoying this journey that I'm on. I did change out that pillow over there. It's one that I already had, and I just decided to bring it down and put it in that space and see how I like it. My window treatments do need to be steamed, but since I'm not really having company, it's just you guys, and you know we're all family here, so don't talk about me. I'm gonna allow the wrinkles to kind of fall out, and then I will steam them. You know, whatever is left. But for now, I just kind of wanted to let them hang and do their thing on their own. I also need to replace my doormat over there. It is a sight, but you know, again, we're all family here, so we're not going to talk about each other. I'm going to get a new one in time. Everything else, I'm really liking the way it came together. And yeah, so I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you are inspired. If you're looking for something different for your home for this year, I challenge you to get out of your comfort zone and elevate your space for the new year as well. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe subscribe button if you're not currently subscribed. And to all of my returning family members, thank you so much for stopping back by. I appreciate each and every one of you. I look forward to your comments and conversing with you. And I hope to see you all over here on my next one. Bye-bye.